This is a case where we use existing platforms. I said before we use Ushahidi, but we don't use Ushahidi to report violence. We use Ushahidi to increase our accountability. So it's a case where, you know, a platform is there. It was meant and invented for a particular use, but it was adapted by another organization for a completely different use. So here we are talking about accountability, humanitarian aid in Somalia. So the focus is about accountability and our work in Somalia. This project was supported by the Humanitarian Innovation Fund. So there was a comment from colleagues how we enhance partnership and everything. I think this is easy because in a way, I mean, you have a number of software applications and an organization that work with technology. You also have organizations like the Humanitarian Innovation Fund that can provide seed money to take an idea and then develop this idea. So this is what we did at the Danish Refugee Council. The presentation is basically, you know, what the problems that we faced and what are the objectives of this project, what we did, lessons learned, and how we can scale up. And there was before in the morning about OCHA coordinating. That would be great if actually, you know, accountability can be coordinated by OCHA in Somalia, in Kenya, and all other countries. So basically, well, I mean, Somalia is close to Kenya, so I imagine that most of you are familiar with the problem in Somalia. Senior management and embassies, normally, I mean, I've been sitting in Nairobi for the last 20 years. It might change because we are moving to Mogadishu now, but, you know, we have cases of remote management. Oversight from our side is limited. There are many places in Somalia where international staff doesn't have access, and even national staff doesn't have access depending on their clan. Poor monitoring, and of course, all this results in lack of accountability. So we were thinking and say, what do? We want to make our intervention from the DRC and other humanitarian agencies working in Somalia, but any other country, more transparent and more responsive to citizens' views and needs. So how do we do that? We establish a beneficiary feedback system through text messages over phones, and then we create online communities on Facebook, YouTube, Flickr, and Twitter. What is needed? I want to highlight this because, you know, if you belong to a humanitarian agency that wants to replicate this, you need to know what you need. What you need is an Android-run smartphone with a SIM card, a website, and one person who can manage this. And of course, Ushahidi, which is available and can be downloaded. So basically, this is our portal, where you have here the list of the communities where we work, what we do. So we have a good degree of understanding what we are doing on the ground. It's not that, you know, we are blank and we don't know. But still, you know, our dialogue with the communities here is through our staff. And of course, this is not very efficient because it might take time before, you know, people sitting down here, Nairobi, know what is happening there. So this is basically, okay, this is again is a list of the projects and how much, you know, what are our support to the communities. So we don't start from very bad situations. I mean, we know what is going on there. But again, the dialogue is not that, let's say, regular. So we created the system where, you know, people, here is a picture of Somalia, people have a local line and they can send a text and they can tell us whatever they want. This is not about complaints. It's not just about, you know, people complaining of what we do. It's beneficiaries 360 degrees. Because we believe that by getting feedback from the beneficiaries, we can actually improve our way of working and basically our impact. So, you know, okay, now you can see this, you can recognize. So this is Ushahidi. This is actually the map of the SMS, and this is the categories. The reason why we use Ushahidi is because it's open and it's transparent. Many organizations have an SMS or feedback systems. They can work over the phone, they can work in the offline world, they can work with the SMS. But they are not transparent, meaning that they receive the feedback. This feedback is processed internally, but the outside world doesn't know it. We like Ushahidi because we give the possibility to the outside world. I'm glad, you know, this is a communication event. The medias are there. Medias can go there. Let me see if I put on the other slide. Yes, and click here on the SMS. What we do, we take the message, which is in Somali. We translate in English for a wider audience. And we also provide a log, so it will reply back, and our dialogue with the beneficiary is reported here. So that makes, you know, us more transparent and, of course, more reactive when we need to process the SMS. I mean, we can't just, be quiet and say, well, I'll deal tomorrow, because, they are here. This is pending. This is an old screenshot, but that was pending at that time. So this is an incentive to our managers to process the SMS and provide the feedback to the beneficiaries. I go quickly because you can find this on the website, but this is what you will find once you click it. You'll find the original SMS in Somali, and you'll find the translation in English. You'll find the location, and of course, like categories, what it's about, the project, the locations, and the status of the SMS. You can also subscribe to alerts. This is actually my inbox, where I subscribe to an alert, and automatically, the SMS appears in my inbox. This means that, if you're interested, or even your managers that are responsible, can subscribe and receive. This is automated, so of course cuts down the time of communication between the beneficiary and the manager who has to act and respond on it. This is just the dashboard when you enter, and the password protected. What you saw before is public. Everybody can access. This is what our staff access. So you will find here, the USHAID, but imagine that some of you are already familiar. And this is what the staff I mentioned before does. Gets the SMS and processes the SMS, provides the categories, the locations, and everything, and then puts it online. So it's quite easy to use it. Now we complement this with social medias. We want to have 3 levels of monitoring. The traditional top-down monitoring, the monitoring that is done by us on behalf of the donors. There is not much to say because we all know this. We have the bottom-up monitoring, the monitoring that is done by the beneficiaries through the SMS, because they don't have access to internet. But this is also the peer monitoring. The monitoring that is done by us, people, other organizations, colleagues that are working, in this case in Somalia, even the press. So basically, we use the social media to solicit feedback, and let's say, before you saw the list of the projects, and this is based on information that we get from our field. But if you're a journalist and you happen to be in that community, and you see that the school that we built, and we say that actually is open and running, is closed, well, you can go to the Facebook and say, I've been there, but your school is closed. And we are not afraid. We can't fail. So, it's not just it says, no, please don't do it, because, then we can react. But if we don't have that information, we cannot fix it. So this is a way also to engage a wider community, civil society, to make our work better. And that's why we use the social media. Facebook, you have here a blog. We changed the picture. Before it was the default one. Now we put Somalia related, not the British one picture. This is, we have Flickr. I want to show this because it's nice, because, mobile phones in Somalia. Okay, we know in Kenya many people use it, but in Somalia, well, they use it. How is the problem with power? Well, you can see here their mobiles are attached to a car charger, which is attached to the battery, and people can charge their phones. So, it's really, really SMS, and it was the presentation in the morning. The use of phones is spreading everywhere, even in remote places like, rural villages in Somalia. So what we learn from this? It's good because the literacy level is high, the SMS cost and the network coverage is not that great in many areas of Somalia, lack of electricity, but we are getting SMS, so it's encouraging. So our first question was, will it work in Somalia? Yes. What we realize is that we need to run an awareness campaign on a regular basis, telling people about the SMS. So if you are an organization planning to use it, you have to be sure that you have enough funds aside to do an awareness campaign. This is something new. You will find probably a resistance from the staff that is using that. It wasn't used to have SMS, so you need to find somebody who is actually pushing through the organization. Otherwise, it might be that the staff really will have some resistance. And the other thing which is important for us, once you get some seed money, then this has to be budgeted in the regular budget. And our experience shows that the donors are quite happy. We are now putting budget lines for this in our regular program, and donors are particularly happy to support this. So this should not be a challenge. Opportunities for scaling up. Basically, I mean, you will see the presentation will be posted, I understand, but what is important is that you can start with a low budget. The question mark is, oh yeah, I need a lot of money, I need to hire an ICT and I need budget and everything. No, because as we said, Ushahidi is free, you can download it. Once you have, it doesn't have to be done at the headquarters. Even here, your country offices in Kenya can do it. What you need is, with one staff, an mini staff, and then your project activities, you can incorporate the awareness campaign. So you need to have a little budget, but it's not that huge. So you can print the phone number and your cash vouchers on the kits you're going to distribute and so on. So people are aware of it. And there is an opportunity for scaling up. In Somalia, now is the Return Consortium that, it wants to use it. We have discussion with the Cash Consortium. And of course, after this presentation, it would be nice to have discussion with OCHA and see, how this can be coordinated and used by other organizations. What we can do for you, if you want, we can provide training, workshops, and trainings. This is part of the project that is funded by the Humanitarian Innovation Fund because HIF is really keen in diffusion and replication of this system. So we have some budget aside where it can be used also to support your organization if you are willing to use it and in your respective organization. I think that's all. You will find when you see the presentation all our links. And this is my name with my email address. And that's it.